Oh yeah, sexy satin biscuit.
Nice. Hey YouTube, Longboys Post 1975. First of all, I want to say an absolutely massive thank you to Shocks16 for his special guest Sexy Biscuits intro. You'll have to excuse me, I've bitten the end of my tongue off again, so it's party time in my mouth and not even a good way. Sorry. He is on my channel list, and I'll put a link to his channel in the do hickey down below. Really good mate of mine, I've known him for years on here. He asked me, this is how we kind of became, mates. He asked me if I wanted to be part of his YouTube dancing collab using the YouTube community. I'll get there in the end. And we've been good mates ever since. His channel's brilliant, does pick-up videos, collection videos, he's done some amazing comedy videos. His last year Christmas special was just absolutely brilliant. He absolutely loves the Saturn. He's got two great series, Shocks on Saturn, where he plays Saturn games, and a new great series where he plays all games, across various systems, and it's Friday Night Fight, where he has a beer or a cider, or maybe not anything, because he was too lazy to go to the shops, and he plays a fighting game. So definitely go and check him out. He's an absolute slice of fried gold. Now, I think you're going to know the question, or you've read it already, never mind, but you're going to know why I asked it if you follow me on Facebook, because I posted a picture up a couple of days ago about this game. It was called What's Wrong With This Picture, and on my thumb was the disc, and in my hand, the same hand that is, was the box, and they didn't match up. So the question is down there, and it says, if you ever been after a retro game, or wanted a retro game for the longest of times, and when you finally get it, and you take it home, and you open the box, something else is in there. I think it's probably happened to all of us, and as I said, I did it on Facebook, but I wanted to make a video about it because I'm thinking about a couple of aspects of it, and based on some of the comments I got and what actually happened, it's quite an interesting question. I think we all have that game, don't we? Or a couple of games. I think as retro collectors, there's probably a game, we probably will have a list with certain games on that we just want. For whatever reason, they've eluded us, over the years. We've been after them, but we just never managed to get it together and get these games. Maybe they're really, really rare, maybe they're really, really expensive. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're a brilliant example of the genre, maybe they're just monkey balls, but they're so bad that you just want to experience it for yourself. Now, that game to me is, well, rather than tell you, I'm going to show you, right? So I've been after it for a while. I've been after it since I first got my Wii, and the funny was, prices on it then were really, I'm not saying it's mega expensive, but prices on it then were really, really low, and for whatever reason I turned my nose up on it. I know the heritage and the pedigree of this character and the games that Nintendo make with this character, but I don't know, I saw the TV commercials and it just didn't appeal to me. But over the years I heard many good things, and it's generally considered the true sort of sequel to an absolute groundbreaking game, and it's kind of grown on me, and people have talked about it and said it's brilliant, and so I've tried to get it and it just never showed up. That's not true. I saw it about a year or so ago in Cash Converters in one of their crazy price things where I thought, I ain't spending 16 quid on a GameCube game. So imagine my surprise when I went to college again, and that little weird bazaar over the road that I've been to a couple of times, yeah, I popped in there and had a root around. Check it out. So what you can't tell in there, because it's obviously very poorly lit, well, it's not very poorly lit, it's very sort of sporadically lit. You go through pockets of darkness into well illuminated areas, which sucks, because one of the areas that's not well illuminated, or enough for me to film I should say, is their epic action figure section. I'm going to show you anyway, but it's kind of dark, but you get the point. But anyway, right, off topic already. So I'm looking through the games, and the last time I went in and the time before, they only had PlayStation 2 games, so they'd never had any GameCube games. So when I saw this, and obviously I kept my voice down because he didn't know I was filming, you know, stealth ninja filming, but I was just like, yes, Super Mario Sunshine. I was going to say Super Mario Galaxy, and it's only a £5. But what you can't see is it wasn't. I said it shrink wrap on Facebook. It wasn't. It had weird stuff on it to stop you opening it, which I fully understand because all their discs are in the box. So I remember taking it. I remember going up to the guy, you know, saying, "Oh man, I've been looking for this for absolutely ever." I was actually going to say, the irony's not wasted on me. "Oh, brilliant, mate! I can't believe you have this for a £5." Because he didn't have this for a £5. But then also I thought, well, don't say that, Dave, because he might ramp his prices up. But the reason I was annoyed that it was sealed was because I bought, the last time I was in, I bought a few DVDs. I actually said to him, "Do you mind if I check the discs?" And he said, "No, cool, because all the discs are in the boxes apart from this one was sealed." So I've checked them. So I'm sure he wouldn't have minded. But yeah, I went back to college. I sat through college for the rest of the afternoon, you know, did my work and stuff. Super happy with myself, patting myself on the back, thinking what a saucy, you know, ninja I was. Got home, opened it, right. Didn't even look at the disc. I think the first thing I do when I open a box is check that it's complete. It wasn't complete, but I didn't care, so I took the disc out, still didn't look at it, you know, plopped it, put it in my Wii, and turned it on. So imagine my surprise when I saw this. What the fuck? So like a moment of confusion, because obviously it's the wrong game, but it took a while to, you know, settle in. So I'm like looking at the box like that and looking at the screen, and I eject it, you know, and look at it, and I'm like, hang on, what? Paper Mario? Hang on, what? Now the reason it's an interesting question, I thought I'd ask it, is we've all been to places where we've been unable to return a game, or we've not checked something, such as, because you know these places exist, such as places like this, you know, this weird bazaar, because you don't get a receipt or anything. So I mean, I've not tried to take something back. Maybe they'd be brilliant. Car boot sales, they're long gone and down the road, you know, if you ever wanted to return. Maybe they would be there next week, but then again, how would you even prove it, you know? Little junk stores that I usually come across in seaside towns. So I was really, really annoyed. I posted that picture up on Facebook with that question, and all of a sudden a couple of responses were, which is why I want to make a video on here, were, "Hey, I've had that, but I got this and I got this and I got that," and I thought that's kind of cool. And then also 3 other people went, "Dude, you got the better game." And I was like, "Really? What? Seriously?" And I went, "Yeah, that's the rarer game." You know, and people were starting to talk about prices. So I went on eBay, and I'm not one of those people that, you know, goes, "Well, look at me, I've got a Woody because this game's super rare or valuable." Excuse me. But I was like, wow, 34 quid seems to be the general price on buy now. I've seen a few up to 49 quid, and if you want it sealed, 129 quid. And I was like, wow, you know, maybe this wasn't such a bad thing. And people like Chris Shank was saying, "Hey, dude, that's a pretty good thing." And Alan from Area Shifty Bun was saying, you know, that's pretty cool. So, you know, I had a look around on eBay, and I've managed to track down a box and a manual. And yeah, so I've got that coming. So I'm not going to flog it, I'm going to play it. I mean, me and RPGs kind of, I've played and completed a few, but you know, they're not my ideal sort of, you know, excuse me again, bucket of beans. But yeah, so it's funny because initially I was like, oh shit, and then I was all of a sudden like, oh my god, you know, it's raining sexy biscuits. See what I did there? And yeah, and then it gets even better that I paid a surprise guest visit, I should say, to Chris Shank. I wanted to give him something so he could take it to Expo, and I didn't even tell him. I just turned up on his doorstep and surprised him and gave it to him. And one of the things he, you know, kind of said he wanted to give me, he didn't tell me it was this, but you know, was he gave me a complete copy of Super Mario Sunshine. So isn't it funny how things work, you know? Everything really did come up roses. So the question I want to ask you is there that game, that retro game you've been after for absolutely ages? You know, for whatever reason, you know, when you got it, it was the wrong game. Was it better? Was it worse? You know, was everything fantastic, or was it a bucket full of shite? And was it a case of you couldn't take it back, so you were kind of stuck with it? I'd love to know what you think, because everyone must have a story somewhere along these lines. Anyway, go and check out Chris Shank. He's a fucking ninja as well, and he's in my channel. I put a link to him in the doohickey down below. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.